What is going on, Mountaineer Nation, fellow college basketball fans? What a day. West Virginia defeats Kansas State. You see it right there on the screen, 89-81. They're going dancing, baby, all the way to March Madness. At least I think they are anyway. Cole D's on here. He says 18 wins and WVU is in. I agree, man. I think this seals the deal. Liquid Code, this would have been so much sweeter if we'd at least got a damn shot off at the end of the Kansas game, even if we missed. I don't even care about that right now, dude. I'm just so happy to be in the tournament and to have won this game. Guys, I'm telling you, West Virginia beat a really good basketball team today. I noticed we already had somebody drop off. I guess it was my dancing. But anyway, West Virginia beat a really, really good basketball team today. I don't know if y'all realize that or not. Kansas State's a really good team. And Keyontae Johnson, Marquis, Nowell got theirs today with 24 apiece, but doesn't matter because West Virginia seniors came through big today. Paul, what do you have to say, my brother?
Man, we had 4 players really step up today. And other guys played great in the role. I thought Joe Toussaint really spelled Keedy when he needed it today. Keedy had me wanting me to – I'll tell you what, I rode the roller coaster with Keedy today. He had me wanting to rip my hair out 1 second. He'll go up for an easy bunny, he miss it, steal the ball back, make a pass, and we hit a 3 off of that. It was wild, man. It was a roller coaster. I rode the roller coaster the entire game until really the last 10 minutes when we had that double-digit lead. And, I was really proud of our guys. We'd given up so many leads this year. I think if your butthole wasn't tight and you're a Mountaineer fan, I'd be shocked because that's definitely I was. I was nervous the whole way through. Really proud of the team, man. Really proud of Hugs. I thought he outcoached Jerome Tang today. He made some really key adjustments in certain situations, how they were playing us. They had a really good game plan coming in. I was really proud of Hugs for getting Jimmy Bell out of the game because that was something that in the beginning of the game was really upset about was Jimmy Bell was being put in ball screen situations. And they were abusing him, because if he it doesn't matter if he switched or he stayed, it was a mismatch out there. He was either having to guard Tomlinson out on the perimeter who could dribble drive on him, or he was going to have to guard Nowell or Keyontae Johnson on the perimeter. It was just a mismatch for Jimmy and a bad day for him to be in the game, even with his offensive rebounding. It's kind of his specialty now for us. So Patty Sue came in and played really well for us. And I'm just excited, I could ramble on and on about it.
Yeah. Before we get further into the show, I got something I have to do. And y'all are going to see me do it live. Got to break out the coonskins, baby.
Yeah. You see, I'm in my easy chair.
Yeah, Paul's in his easy chair. I got the coonskins on. What a day.
Yep.
What a day. Bell can't chew gum and walk at the same time. Some days he can. Today wasn't his day, though. I think the Kansas State's just a bad matchup for him, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
He did early in the first half. He did a good job of making a few. He got the ball in the middle and done a good job passing it back out to the wings for some open looks. I thought he did pretty good at that early in the game, but he was just a detriment on the defensive end because of the matchups.
Yep, agreed. Look at that comment.
Yeah, I saw that earlier.
$500. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, man. This game I wasn't – oh, sorry about that. I can't relate. I can pull my beard, but it's even too short now. I trimmed it last night. You did call that. WVU Fan Forever called it. He said they were going to win by 8. He made a comment on our preview video. He said West Virginia by 8. You were right on the money.
He did. You're right. I was happy to be wrong. I picked K-State to win this game. I will gladly eat crow right now, so give it to me, guys. But you see how good a team that was? We had to play in my opinion, we played our A game today on offense, not necessarily on defense. We had some breakdowns, but as far as shooting go, I mean, we shot a really high clip. We hit the free throws. Everything I thought we needed to do to win the game, we did, outside of some defensive lapses. And even then, our defense played well at times, turned them over too. But it was a fun game to watch. If it wasn't so much on the line, I would have probably enjoyed it a lot more. Like if we were comfortably in or something, I would have enjoyed the game a lot more. But I was starting to sweat because of some stuff that we had read over the last few days about teams like you said, Boise State, other teams that could possibly crash the party for teams that were on the bubble or last four in the field. So I don't know how we can be denied at this point. I would be extremely shocked if West Virginia doesn't get into the tournament at this point. We've had people, not players, but people have been saying we've been in since we had 16 wins. There were some people that believed that we had a shot at 16 wins. So I think we're solidly in.
I agree. I mean, they said they thought we were in with 17. You beat a number 11 ranked team in the country at home by 8 points, and you pretty much dominated the last 2/3 of the game, you could say. The last half of the game. I wouldn't say 2/3 because it was only a 2-point game at halftime, but you dominate the whole second half. So I don't see how anybody could say that we're not in. I mean, Kansas State is no slouch, man. They have a chance to make it to the. I think they're a Final Four caliber team. I really do.
There's no doubt.
And I think Marquis, Nowell, and Keyontae Johnson are arguably the two best players in the league on the same team.
Well, and their third best player didn't even play today.
I know.
That's another thing. Desi Seals is a dangerous player. So we really kind of lucked out. If Desi Seals is on the floor, who knows how this game goes? You really can't really get into that game because there's so many things that change.
Right.
But overall, I think it was a break for us that he didn't play. But you could also say Mo Wiggy not being out there for us was a break for them. So it kind of goes both ways. But Desi Seals is probably a bigger loss for them than Mo Wiggy is for us, I would say. But I'll tell you what, Mo we could have used tonight in those ball screen situations. He's so good in them situations. I hope he's back for the conference tournament and beyond.
Yeah, I agree. Jeffrey Foster says, I think we will make it to the Sweet 16, but I would not be surprised if they make it to the Elite 8. I think this team's got it in them. P.W. Riggs said, if so, what does that make us? I think it's all about matchups, P.W. Riggs. If we get the right matchups, we can make a deep run. I don't know that we're a Final Four team, and I know that sounds weird because we just beat them, but it was at our home court. You got to realize that. And I just think Kansas State is a harder matchup for a lot of teams. But I'm not saying I'm not saying this West Virginia team can't make it to the Final Four. I just think Kansas State is – I don't know. There's something magical about them. I can't really put my finger on it. But
I feel the same way.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the Jerome Tang effect or what, but there's just something about K-State.
Can you imagine having to prepare for Nowell and Johnson on 1 or 2 days rest and had never played them before?
Yeah.
I think that's what makes them so tough. And to kill – listen, Tomlin is a vastly underrated player as well.
He's good.
On those runs to the basket.
Yep.
I don't think he's aggressive enough for them, in my opinion. But he's also a very skinny guy. He's only been playing for 4 years, really similar to Okonkwo for us. Just doesn't have a lot of experience. So,
yeah. But, I do think this West Virginia team's got the opportunity. I think they've got the capabilities to make it to the Final Four. It's going to be really tough because we're going to have such a low seed. We're going to get we're going to be playing a lot of really good teams, so it's going to be tougher. It's going to be a tougher road for West Virginia to make it because of the teams they're going to have to play against.
Before we go any further, guys, don't forget to like the video. Please hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed to Hoops from the Hills. Leave a comment after the fact, after this live, if you're watching this later on. And also, man, Couz, if you don't mind, Couz, drop one of our things down there. If you want to donate to this channel, we're not monetized yet. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We work really hard on this channel. We try to, and put up a lot of content for you guys. If you ever can, we would certainly appreciate a donation. That's all I'll say about that.
You can Cash App Couz's Corner or Venmo or PayPal. And anything you send me, Paul, will get half of it. So But there's my Cash App tag right there in the comments. And like I said, PayPal and Venmo is just search for Couz's Corner and you'll find us or find me. Erik says that dwarf draining threes was magical. Hey, dude, he's good. That cat. Hey, dwarf or no, he's freaking good.
Yeah, he's tough.
I love watching that kid. He reminds me a little bit. I'm not going to say he's as good as Javon Carter, but he plays
a smaller version.
He's a smaller version of Javon Carter with better range. He's probably he might be a better overall shooter than Javon was.
Yeah, well, I think Javon has obviously gotten better since he's been in the league.
Oh,
but,
absolutely.
But in college, if you're just comparing them in college,
yeah,
they're different players because Javon was a lockdown. They're very similar. Like he's talking about his hands around the basket and stuff like that. But I feel like Javon, that defensive specialty of his is what separated him. I would still take Javon by a hair.
Yeah. Erik says, man, that Toussaint shot under the basket against their point guard was magic. That was an awesome shot, dude.
Yeah, that might have been the shot of the game.
Did y'all see Emmitt's dunk? The pump handle slam? That was sweet, too.
Yeah, he's done that a couple times in his career.
Dude, Emmitt's athletic, man. He's deceiving. I mean, he's very athletic. He might be one of the most athletic guys on the team. I mean, he can get up off the floor pretty quick. Riggs says, do you think he will make the pros?
Yeah.
Well, I think he will. The only thing that would hurt him would be his size, but I think he's so good. I don't think he'll probably be a second-round pick, if I had to guess. But I'm not a draft expert guy. That's not my strength. Just total guess. I think he's a second-round pick, maybe. What do you think, Paul?
Yeah. Well, we just talked about, actually, we had this exact conversation before the show.
We did.
And I feel like he's a player. I feel like he's a pro. Think a poor man's Isaiah Thomas Jr. is really what he reminds me of. Not as good of a scorer as Isaiah Thomas Jr. I mean, that guy, he scored 40 and 50 points in a game in the league, but they're the same size. But what's going to get Nowell a job, I think, is his ability to distribute the ball. And we'll see. It all really depends on what kind of liability he'll be on defense in the NBA, because he's going to be so much smaller than most of the other guards that they play against.
Yeah.
How many? I was just going to ask how many people were mad when Keyontae Johnson threw that windmill down in the first half, because I was so mad over that.
I wasn't mad. I thought it was pretty cool. It's entertaining.
No, that's disrespectful. Most people would say.
Why is that? Because it's your visitor. Because it's a visitor's gym.
It's just like hitting somebody with a pitch. Very similar to that.
Okay, I don't look at it that way, but that's fair. I am curious to see how well we can play when we do get in the NCAA away from the Big 12 teams. I agree. I mean, West Virginia has shown time and time that they can play with pretty much anybody. I mean, they played Purdue really well, and Purdue's one of the top teams in the country.
Yeah, Xavier as well.
I think Xavier. James Okonkwo.
We should have beat them.
We should have. James Okonkwo has served blocks a lot for Buckingham Palace. I like it.
Yeah, those English roots.
How about our free throw shooting major improvement from the beginning of the year? Absolutely, man. Absolutely. John Kelly, thanks for hopping on. He says, Country Roads, baby. Let's go Mountaineers. We're a lock for the big dance. Did y'all see Erik dancing at the end of the game, by the way?
I saw that.
That was pretty cool. Did you see Emmitt? During the game, they were playing. It was after a timeout. They were playing the I can't think of the name of the song off the top of my head, but they were playing music and the crowd was into it, and he was out there dancing. Did y'all see it?
I did not see that.
It was pretty cool. It was in the second half.
Did you see where a couple K-State fans were trying to flex that they played basically a K-State documentary about Huggins during halftime? They were trying to flex like it's their. They're trying to say it's our senior night, yet they played a K-State program during halftime. Like that was some kind of flex.
Yeah, I didn't see.
Yeah, I was going at it. I was going at it with them a little bit over
on Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh, wasn't mad. We were in the game. Cole says it's easy to show off being up.
Yeah.
Christopher says if only we had my man's Jose Perez.
Man, look.
But look on the bright side. Look on the bright side. We get him next year.
Yep.
Now we have something to look forward to for next year.
And guys, we did a video yesterday on Eric DeSilvio. Did I say that right, Couz?
Erik
It's
Silverio.
my fault. It's my fault,
Omar
Silverio.
Silverio. Yeah.
Omar to Silverio. Yeah, I was reading an Erik
Silverio.
Stevenson comment from Eric Flowers or something, and I got Eric. But it was
Was.
my fault. I edited the video yesterday. I threw the music on it, everything. Somehow it got stripped when it went onto YouTube, and it went up plain. So a lot of our editing was taken out and some pauses. It was really ugly. So I took it down, and it was getting a lot of views, and that was my fault. I probably ruined its momentum. So if you guys get a chance to watch that and you haven't really had anything to hear, haven't heard about that player we landed yesterday, check that out as well. He's obviously a childhood friend of Jose Perez.
Yeah, thanks for that, man. And it happens, man. Sometimes when you're editing and publishing videos, man, it's we're not all perfect. I've done that a few times on my other channel too. I've uploaded the wrong video or had it. Or I've uploaded videos and then there'll be no sound on it after I get it uploaded, and I've had to go back. It can be a pain. Cole said, or K-State won 4 in a row, then ran into us.
Yep.
True. Paul, P.W. Riggs wasn't happy about that either, Paul.
Yeah, well, it's boastful. It aggravated me a little bit. Just it was a little cocky.
Yeah. OJ, Omar, and Jose. There you go.
I like it.
All right, I'm gonna show.
Cole.
Let's look at the teams. Let's look at the stats real quick, everybody.
Yep.
I like to always do that. I mean, obviously, y'all are smart enough to do this on your own, but I think it kind of provides a little bit for the conversation here. You got. Plus, this is actually my first time looking at these, so we can do it together.
We shot the cover off of
it. 50.8%. 50.8%. And they shot 44.8, which is good.
We had to have it.
They outshot us from 3 a little bit, but that's okay. They were 42.9. We were 31.8. For them to go into a visitor's gym and shoot 43% from 3, pretty good. Free throws. Yeah, once again, look at the free throw difference, guys. This was a key to the game, and it came out in West Virginia. West Virginia made 22 out of 25 free throws, man.
That's the difference in the game.
Kansas only shot 12.
I didn't know
Unbelievable.
That.
Unbelievable.
K-State fan would probably say that was home cooking for us.
I was getting ready to say that.
I can't really argue with it.
I can't either. Rebounds.
Yeah, that's a lot of extra free throws.
It happens, man.
It happens in every gym. Yeah.
Offensive rebounds, 11-7, Kansas State actually, but that's crazy.
That's because we had to put in Patty Sue.
Right. And we were making so many shots too. It's hard to get offensive rebounds when you're shooting 50%. Assists, they beat us 18-13. Steals, we won 14-10. Blocks, we got Kansas State 5-2. Man, good defense around the rim. Total turnovers, they had 20. We only had 16. 16 still too many, but that's considering how good they are. They're a really good defensive team, and we forced them to turn over 20 times. The 2 keys of the game were turnovers and free throw shooting, and we won both of those.
Well, yeah, and that makes us -4 in turnover margin for the game. And really, one of my keys going into this game, what did I say, Couz? What were the 2 things we needed to do? We need to turn it over less than them, and we needed to make free throws. Is that not what we said going into this? It's been a weird, crazy stat for West Virginia this year, but anytime we have less turnovers than the opponent or less than 10, and we make a lot of free throws, we win games. And that's truly been a formula for us. I don't know why. I mean, I know that's not something you key up first on the list a lot of times.
Right. Absolutely. That's been this team's formula for victory, though.
Right. Krista, to answer that question, by the way, Texas is Texas the only team that's given us any bit of the business this year that you can remember?
Kansas blew us out the first time we played them.
Yeah, Kansas. That's right.
But Hugs made a great point about that last Texas game where they blew us out. We only had 1 day of rest between games.
Yeah.
They had 5.
Great point.
We played a Saturday, Monday game. They hadn't played since the previous Wednesday. And I didn't know that until I was listening to his press conference on Friday, his Friday press conference yesterday, and he mentioned that. And, I know it sounds like he's making excuses, but, dude, that's a big deal. I mean, look at the I'm trying to think of the right word. The effort they have to put forth in order to play in that league each and every day.
It's
And you
a
only
lot.
get one, and you're on the road. So as soon as they finished their game on Saturday night, they had to fly to Austin. Only got a day of break in a hotel room. You know, they didn't have their cryo chambers and their tubs and all the stuff that they have back home to get in. So they really couldn't fully recover.
Agreed.
So they had no legs. And in Texas, coming off 5 days, I mean, to me, that's bad scheduling on the Big 12's part.
Yeah, Civil Mark, West Virginia. Matthews has become more aggressive in the last 3 games, makes the whole team better. Yeah, 100%, man. And I'm not going to lie, the last time he was playing this well, he had a lower body injury, and it's like it took him, he went into a funk for the last 10 or 12 games.
Yeah.
And then today he had that collision, and it was nasty looking. I mean, it really looked bad. Especially it was a midair collision, and I thought, oh no, here we go again. And luckily he was okay.
Yep. Look out, NCAA tournament, big boys coming. I tell you what, I would not want to play this team. They're playing their best basketball of the season. And by the way, there was some YouTube guy that's bald and has a beard, wears glasses. Every now and again, he wears a coonskin cap. I think he predicted West Virginia would win 18 games this year.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think his partner that he does shows with said they would get around 18 or 19 wins too.
I said between 18 and 20. I did.
So I mean, no,
yeah, we'll give ourselves a little pat on the back for that.
A blind squirrel gets a nut every now and again, man.
Well, I mean, it's just when you look at this thing logically, though, and honestly, I was really hoping we had Jose Perez at this point in time. If you add him to this lineup, but anyway, I went on about that so many times. Realistically, you've got 5 seniors who played a lot of basketball but never played it together. And I really felt like in everything we said, if you go back and watch our very first show, we thought they would struggle early. What happened? We lost 5 conference games to start the year. That's not who this team is. This team is probably, in my opinion, if it was this team the entire year, this is probably maybe a game or 2 over 500 team in the conference. I think that's fair. And it really turned into, even though we're probably going to be a 7, maybe 8 seed, 7 or 8 in that range.
In the Big 12 tournament or the national tournament?
Big 12 and national, probably. I think we project right around that for both. I think we're probably a top 5 team in the conference. I could argue that is all day. But so big ups to us for that. I'm proud of us for getting that right.
Me too. Chris D, thanks for hopping on, man. He says, looking scary, and I like it. What's up, fellas? Jeremy Croy. That game was just flat out fun to watch, how a senior game should be. Speaking of seniors, I'm going to read this stat line here for this real quick for this team.
It was wild, wasn't it?
If I can pull it up here, bear with me a second. There we go. Box score. Here, this was senior day. Tre Mitchell, senior, 14 points. 5 of 6 from the line, 4 for 7 from the field. 6 rebounds, too, by the way, and 2 blocks. Emmitt Matthews, senior, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 2 of 2 from the line, 9 for 11 from the floor. Erik Stevenson, senior, 27 points, 5 of 14 from 3, 11 for 22 from the floor. Also had 5 assists and 4 rebounds and 2 steals. And Emmitt had 4 steals today. Holy crap, what a game. 20 points, 2 blocks, 4 steals, 6 rebounds. Good night.
It was so quiet.
That's got to be Emmitt's best game. I don't have time to go back and look at every game. Maybe I will one day. But it's got to be his best game ever. I mean, that's just fantastic.
He put it all out on the line for his last senior day.
Kedrian Johnson, senior, 23 points. 6 steals. 6 steals. Unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, he averaged a good player averages 1 to 2 steals a game. He got 6.
Yeah.
6
How many turnovers did he have? Does it say?
Did he commit?
Yes.
4.
Okay.
And Erik
Those
had
are all
5.
mostly in the but look, he did commit the 4, but he got 2 of them right back. So and I went in the steal column. So it was really weird.
Yeah,
And then he missed a couple of bunnies and got those right back. He's so quick.
Yeah. And
He's so quick.
And Kedrian was 14 of 15 from the free throw line and 1 for 3 from 3. 4
Yeah.
of 13 from the field overall. That is just fantastic numbers. Jimmy Bell Jr., one of the other seniors, had no points, 1 rebound, 2 fouls.
And how many minutes?
It's not up there yet.
Oh, okay. It has to be less than 20.
And then Joe Toussaint, the other senior, had 3 points, but he still played a good game. He also had a steal, an assist, and a couple rebounds, and he played big minutes down the stretch. That one bucket underneath that one of the commenters mentioned earlier.
The degree of difficulty one.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
He played a good game. He just didn't show up in the bench.
Well,
they didn't need
Bob,
him. He did his job, basically.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was just one of those games where, and Joe's had a couple games like this where you couldn't put Keedy back in, where they've just been hot, and Kedrian has turned into such a good free throw shooter. Now, if you go back and look in his first 2 years, I want to say, I don't know this for sure, but I could have sworn he was right around the 67, 68% free throw shooter when he got here. And what he's turned into, what he's been able to become. I mean, he's really, truly a Big 12 point guard and an elite one at that.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that we don't have him for one more year now that he's come into his own.
Mm-hmm.
Can't stay forever.
Yep. And one more thing I wanted to point out here, a little bit off topic, but I'm looking at the scores across the top of the screen. Just to show you this Big 12, this league is crazy. Oklahoma is beating TCU by 22 points right now, with only a minute and a half to go in the game. Okay, Oklahoma's the last place team in the league. Texas is beating Kansas by 8 at halftime. Baylor got beat by Iowa State today, 73-58.
Yeah, that was good for us.
So I mean,
and that's without Caleb Grill.
This league's crazy. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy.
Feast or famine.
By the way, West Virginia fans, Pitt and Miami play tonight at 6 Eastern time on the ACC network.
What are we?
Go Canes.
Whatever. Yeah. Hey, whatever causes us to play them. Whatever causes us to play them in the actual NCAA tournament.
I don't want them to get in.
Oh, there's no stopping that.
I don't know. I've seen some people say they may not get in.
Oh, they're third in the league. They've got 14 wins in conference. I don't know.
But the conference is terrible.
Well,
they haven't beat a ranked team the entire season.
That's saying less than 3 ACC teams would get in because they're like the second or third.
They'll probably get in, but I'm just saying.
I mean, if that's an option, sure, I'll take them not getting in. But I just assume that they wouldn't.
I'm assuming they will too. I'm just holding out hope, Paul. Man,
hey, look, that's fine. I was just the first I'd ever heard of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably just trying to wish it into existence.
Hey, let's do it. I'm down for that.
Everybody hit the
How far do you think we can go in the Big 12 tournament, Couz?
I think we can win the friggin' thing, to be honest with you. The way they're playing right now. Now, I'm not saying we will because this league is so brutal. And we got to play Kansas at some point probably to do it, and Baylor, who we struggle with, and Texas. And I don't know that those teams seem to have our number. So, but it's possible.
Yeah. Yeah, our seniors did do that, and I think Huggins even made some comments publicly to the media that what'd he say that one time, Couz? I ain't seen that many people in the gym here lately, or something to that effect. So, and Huggins, that's been something he's gone to over the years quite a bit, using the media to call people out. But yeah, apparently that's what they did. They went in the gym and fixed it. That's the only way to fix it. That and they play every twice a week. So it's been great. And if they can keep it up and we're peaking at the right time, what have we won? What are we 7-4 in the last 11 or something like that? In the toughest conference in America, I'll take it.
Me too, buddy. Krista says Emmitt Matthews has really stepped up the last 2 games. Agreed. Since no more road games, definitely helps on neutral floor. That's a big deal. West Virginia plays well on neutral floor. Typically.
Yeah.
Kitty played awesome defense today. Yes, he did. Do you think any of the normal seniors will come back for the 5th year? Honestly, I would be shocked if Tre. I would be shocked if Tre, Jimmy, and Joe don't come back. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I would too.
If any of them leave, it would probably be Tre, because he might be good enough to go play professionally overseas already, based on his skill set.
Yeah.
And he could choose to do that if he doesn't want to deal with another year of college.
Yeah.
But that's the only. But I would. He's from Pittsburgh, so he's close to home.
Yep.
He can make NIL money probably. He could come back next year and be the star of the team. Honestly.
Yeah. Him and Jose.
With Erik being gone. So if I was him, I'd come back and try to cash in on some NIL. He might be able to make more NIL money than he can make playing overseas, just to be frank.
And that's possible. I think I said this on the last episode, but I've heard reports that all 5 starters have gotten near that 6-figure mark or over it. So it's not chump change at all.
Right.
And you start to think about this team, start to imagine it, and you've got to expect a couple guys are going to go out, whether that's Jamel King or whoever it might be. Kobe might leave. Just making a guess. I'm not know anything, just guesses. We're going to lose some guys. And you start to think Bob's starting to figure this portal thing out a little bit. So who else could he add? Well, the kid we added yesterday, who is a very good to very good 3-point shooter, and Jose Perez, who averaged 18 points a game, albeit in a smaller league.
Mm-hmm.
Starting to look good, along with the guys you just mentioned that might come back.
Yeah, and we'll have Seth Wilson back, Kobe Johnson back. James Okonkwo is going to be another year better. Marquis is going to be another year better. I mean, to me, this team, and I mean, obviously a lot of it's going to have to do with if these guys do come back, but I think they got a chance to be really, really good next year. I'm talking really good. Maybe
we definitely need
maybe top 15, top 20 preseason good.
Yeah, we definitely need Mo to come back. I think he's got the biggest chance to grow the most. And I know you're a big fan of his.
I do. I like Mo. I love the way he plays. Now, is he I think at the end of the day, just based on pure skill level, James may pass him up as far as but I think Mo will always have a role on the team based on the way he plays. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Gabe Osaboyan.
Yeah, that's a great comparison.
He's going to be that guy that probably will never give you a lot of points. He has the ability to at times, but he's going to do all the things that maybe don't show up on the stat sheet, But you know what? Gabe Osaboyan's playing in the G League right now by doing that stuff. So
yeah,
there's a place for those kind of guys, even at the professional level. Auburn. A couple comments about Auburn beating Tennessee, Auburn beating Tennessee. That does help our resume.
That's good
for sure.
How many wins does that give Auburn now?
I don't know.
You might know.
I'll check here. I'll check right now. See if it's up here on the.
Obviously, when we played them, they were top 15. But it seems like they've struggled a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris.
Somebody else can probably find it faster than I can.
Krista, I agree with you in everything except for Houston being. I don't know if you mean Houston along with the rest of that sentence, because I haven't seen the rest of the bracket. But I hope you don't mean that Houston is an easy out, because they're an explosive team that also has probably 2 lottery picks on their squad as well. I know a lot of us probably haven't seen Houston play this year. I have, and they're really, really, really good. But I haven't seen the rest of the bracket you're talking about. So
Luke Bart representing Columbus at the zoo with his WVU gear and getting hate. Of course, you're getting hate. It's Ohio State fans, probably.
Hate them.
They're in the Big Ten. They're better than we are. Their poop doesn't stink.
Last time I checked, we beat Ohio State. The last time we played them in basketball.
Last 2 times, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, actually, you're right.
He says he wears his WVU gear everywhere. I do too, John, for the most part.
Appreciate that, John. That's what we like to see.
It's either WVU gear or Under Armour, or today I got North Face. But yeah, Bennett Travel Plazas in Oklahoma, well garbed.
Sorry,
it's all right.
I'm touching the screen. You're touching it. My bad.
I usually get nods from the people around. Luke Bart. Yeah, I think James passes Wagee next year, but heck, just split time. And Jimmy could come back too, so.
Yeah.
And he'll be in the mix again. But I kind of like that 3-man rotation, to be honest with you. It keeps everybody fresh. It gives you different looks because they're all different in the way they play. And it gives you some the ability to do different things, different matchups and things like that, to be diverse. Midnight Magic Musing says, send my Liberty Flames some good vibes in the ASUN tourney final tomorrow versus Kennesaw State. I hope Liberty wins the game. Midnight Magic Musings.
Actually, I know there's a freshman on the Liberty team that is from Ashland, Kentucky, if I'm not mistaken. My sister was actually his teacher, and she said that he's really good for Liberty. Actually, we just had this conversation, I kid you not even an hour ago. So that's kind of cool, just random.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll know who that player is more than I would, but supposedly a freshman with Liberty, really good this year.
Jeremy Croy says, if only one Big 12 team makes it to the Final Four, which team do you think it is? I will put my money on Kansas probably, but I tell you, man, I don't know. I got a gut feeling. I just have a gut feeling in my stomach about K-State. I don't know why. I think they're going to make a deep run, but I could be completely wrong. I've never won a March. I haven't won a March Madness bracket yet. So, and I tell you what, with Jonathan Chama back, which I don't know, better got beat today, but with Jonathan Chama back, Baylor's got a chance to make another deep run too. And I'll be honest, this might sound like a homer, but I think West Virginia has a chance too, depending on who they're matched up against. I think this team can play with anybody in the country. If they play like they did today, who's beating them easily? I'm not saying they can't be beat, but who's beating them easily the way they played today? Cut back on the turnovers. They need to cut back on the turnovers, but the way they were shooting the ball from 3 today and from the free throw line, I don't know. Their 3 shooting wasn't even great, but they made them when they need to make them. I thought that was what was so critical today.
I think most people overlook Texas, and I really think Texas has a great shot to make the Final Four. Tyrese Hunter is starting to finally come into his own, who was the best player on Iowa State's team last year. Somehow he's just struggled to get acclimated there. You talk about Marcus Carr, who is vastly underrated in America. I personally think you've got LJ Cryer, you've got the kid we just played tonight, and you've got Marcus Carr, who's right there, is one of the best guards in the conference. They've got Cunningham, Hunter, Allen. They've got really good team. I'd look really, really at Texas as a possible Final Four team as well.
Yeah, Texas is good. I'll be anxious to see who they get as their coach.
Well, Rodney Terry might just stick around. He's done such a good job.
He may, but there's rumors out there that they're going after Bill Self too, so we'll see.
Yeah, they're going to swing for the fences, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Auburn got 20 win today. Win 20. They won 20 games.
That's good.
Jim Thompson says, my buddy being a Suckeye fan and me bleeding blue and gold went to the West Virginia Suckeye game in Cleveland to watch the good guys beat a then-ranked Suckeyes fun drive back home. Jacob Yo,
I love that.
WVU Final Four because the senior went to the big dance. It would be awesome.
Yeah,
and
we've got the seniors to do it.
I didn't know Jimmy could come back. Bring them all back if possible. And Chris says, my only thing with Houston is they are good, but what kind of out-of-conference schedule did they play? That's fair. Question. I saw this about Final Four and the seniors and all that. let's be hypothetical for a minute and let's speculate, Paul. If West Virginia makes it to the Final Four, does Bob Huggins retire after the season?
Um, I don't know. I don't think so. I think he's the kind of guy who is going to want to make sure this program is in good hands, and I think he wants to have some kind of hand in who the next coach is. And I don't think that guy is on the bench right now. So I think that what he wants to do is he wants to bring in a guy underneath him for a year. And this is, yeah, I could be completely wrong on this, but I think that's being talked about. Now, if we win a national championship, now you're talking about obviously this is way up high in the sky. But then that might be the swan song that a almost 70-year-old Huggins would need. But I think he's going to chase that ship as long as he can because that's really the only thing that's keeping him from being talked about as you start talking about getting up into the top 8 or 10 coaches ever to coach. So
I mean, and it's his life goal. His life goal is to bring a national championship trophy to West Virginia because we've never won one, and he wants to be the guy to do it. And his goal is to travel around the state with the trophy. I mean, he's made it clear that's what he wants to do. If West Virginia ever wins a national championship, he's taking a bus. He's traveling the state with the trophy so that the fans can see the trophy and get their picture made with the trophy and do all that. Which, just another reason to love the guy because he wants the fans to be a part of it. Krista says she thinks I keep saying she. Krista thinks the NCAA is wide open this year. And then Chris again says, didn't Bob at Kansas State make sure the program was in good hands when he left? He did. And we actually talked about that with Cole Manbeck on our show last, Thursday night, I think it was, or Wednesday night, whatever night it was. We had Cole Manbeck on, who's a Kansas State fan and podcaster. He says that Bob Huggins did just that. Kansas State had basically been irrelevant in basketball. Bob Huggins gets there for 1 year. He brings them back to being relevant again, winning games again. Obviously he got the call from West Virginia, so he couldn't pass it up. But he leaves it in the hands of Frank Martin, who was able to continue that and was able to keep the Huggins recruits that were there. And then, of course, that led to their next coach and then now, obviously, to Jerome Tang. But, I mean, yeah, Bob Huggins got this ball rolling, you could say, for Kansas State.
Agreed. Real quick on Houston, from what I was able to just scan, it looks like the top people they play this year is a really good St. Mary's team. Virginia, who's a really good team. Alabama, who's a really good team. So they have faced some good teams, but certainly, not the strength of schedule that we have. Not even close. But they are 28-2, so that's really hard to argue against.
Sorgy Story says, I didn't watch the game. We had the Marquette St. John's game on here. How did the Mountaineers win? Basically, we made 22 out of 25 free throws. Kansas State only shot 12 free throws, number one. So our free throw shooting was spot on. Number two, we forced them to turn it over 20 times. Now, we turned it over 16 times, but still forcing them to turn it over 20 times was huge. And we shot the ball 50% from the floor. That's the 50% from the floor shooting, 22 of 25 from the line, and we forced 20 turnovers. That's the difference in the game.
That's in a nice, neat little package and box. That's basically what happened.
Yeah.
The only thing I could add to it is we made them beat us with 2 players, and we beat them with 4. We had 4 seniors that really stepped up today and a couple others that played important roles. And they had Keyontae Johnson and Marquis Nowell, and that was it. And a little bit of Tomlin, but he really didn't. He had less than 10 points. So we made 2 players beat us.
I think we could see 2 or 3 Big 12 teams in Final Four. They say teams with good guards do well in March. Only thing we don't have is true centers.
Yeah,
it's possible, Jeremy, but I have the same concern that the next comment has, and that's this. I worry about Big 12 teams getting in foul trouble. That's a key. The officiating in the tournament's going to be totally different than what we're seeing in the Big 12 conference. And these teams like to play really physical, especially like West Virginia. They play really physical. And if these referees in March call the games really tight, that does not bode well for us. But now, if you get officials that don't call it tight and let them play, then it's going to, in my opinion, will be to the advantage of some of these teams like a West Virginia, for example, who like to play physical.
Well, yeah, and you're right. But if we can, sometimes what's happened for us this year too, though, is we get the along with the game speeding up, a lot of times the whistles will too. If we can get a team playing fast and ugly with us to where they foul us, if we're fouling somebody, as long as they're fouling us back some, that's all right, right? And I trust our free throw shooting as of right now. That's what we're going to have to do if we're going to foul the tournament. We have to make sure we're drawing them, and that's going to be, some teams are really skilled at avoiding fouls. That would be a bad matchup for us if we find a team that doesn't foul a lot but plays solid defense.
Right. Got a question here about who's our Final Four. I'm trying to pull up a bracket here.
Oh, Lordy.
I'd have to see a bracket before I can really make that. All right, here we go. In the South bracket, I would say I would probably go with I think I Baylor's a 2 seed. Us is an 11 in that bracket. Alabama the 1. Man, that bracket's wide open. I guess I pick Alabama out of that bracket, maybe, or Baylor. In the East bracket, you've got Purdue, Miami, UConn, Duke, Tennessee, Texas, and Iowa. Man, that's a tough bracket. I think I'd take Purdue out of that one. Or Texas. Purdue or Texas. Midwest, you've got Kansas, UCLA, Gonzaga, St. Mary's. I'm taking Kansas in that one. They've got Pitt as a 10 seed, Paul, so they're going to get in, I believe.
Yeah. Well, they're ranked 25th as of today.
But isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
They could potentially win the conference, and they're going to be a 10 seed.
That's wild, isn't it?
And we might get a 10 seed or even better. And we've won 18 games, and we're going to finish 7th in our league. 7th or 8th in our league. West bracket, you've got Houston. And keep in mind, this is all projections by Joe Lenardi here. You got Houston, Arizona, Kansas State as a 2.
Yeah.
I like Kansas State's chances in that bracket. You got San Diego State, Michigan State, NC State, Creighton, Virginia. Virginia's not been playing all that well lately. So
Creighton's really good this year. Creighton is really
I'll be
good
honest,
this year.
We got Arizona's in that bracket too. Arizona's good. So I would either take Arizona or Kansas State out of that bracket. I think.
Yeah, Arizona's really good. Courtney Ramey, a player we just missed out on, has been a revelation for them this year. We could have used his shooting.
Jeremy says, could Big 12 teams handle Purdue? That center is a beast. That's what worries me. I mean, West Virginia just about beat them. I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, Jimmy Bell held his own against him. He still got his points. See, that's the beauty about West Virginia, the way they play. I remember one year we played Kansas, and they had a player that scored 44. Wiggins scored 44.
Yeah, it was Wiggins.
And we still won the game. So Huggins is willing to let one guy get his points. But you can't let everybody else get their points. And that's kind of how I feel with Purdue. He's going to get his points. Edey's going to get his points. But if you can limit it and then you don't let anybody else beat you, then you got a shot. He's not going to score 80, right? So you just got to limit it. And you got to take advantage of your opportunities on the offensive end when you get them.
Agreed.
Sorgi says, based on Lenardi's 228, I had 4 Big 12 teams in the Sweet 16 and 2 in the Final Four. It's very doable.
Wow.
Those brackets I just looked at, it's extremely doable. Because Big 12 is probably going to have 3 2 seeds and a 1 seed in this tournament. Texas, Kansas, and Kansas State are all looking at potential 2 seeds, which Kansas State's loss today could hurt that. I don't know. But then you've got Kansas as a likely 1 seed. So
Yeah, I like that, Curtis.
yep.
Yeah, I'm glad as well. Uh, Especially for guys that have really rode this thing out, like Keating and Emmitt. Not that I love it for all of them, but man, those guys really love West Virginia. They could have transferred, you know, and it would have had a great many suitors. Obviously, Emmitt did, but he came right back. You know, he realized his mistake. He's even talking about getting a house on Cheat Lake. You know, in West Virginia, if he gets enough money someday. So
Who's this?
Emmitt.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he just said it in this press conference. Yeah, he wants to move here, or at least have another house here for vacations. So
that's awesome. That makes me.
That's one of the things I love, and me too. You know, and that's one of the things about Hugs and his program. And you saw how he embraced the Kansas State team and players and coaches as they came off. He's not the great big bad that I think the media tries to paint him as. You know, just on the court. That's it.
I don't want to spoil it because I'm thinking of doing a video on this. But there's another former player who recently spoke out and had really positive things to say about Hugs. I mean,
we've had one on our show.
Oh yeah, Chase Harler, absolutely.
We had Chase Harler on this show. If you haven't seen that episode, guys.
Christopher says, when is Wagee getting back, and do you think he should play a bigger role going forward? I mean, obviously the bigger role is going to depend on him and also how much the other guys develop as well.
He would have played a lot today if he was healthy.
Yeah.
He would have probably played the majority of those minutes.
He was still in a boot as of Friday, so I don't –
yeah.
I think or Thursday. So I don't see him getting back anytime soon, to be honest with you.
We've got a pretty close connection to the team. We'll have to maybe hit up about that.
Yeah. Sorgi says, just now looking at Lenardi's latest bracketology, I take Marquette out of the South, Purdue out of the East, Kansas out of the Midwest, and Arizona out of the West. Kansas and Marquette in the finals.
Whoa, you got a lot of love for Marquette, huh?
He's a Marquette guy.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. Yeah. Hey, look, when's the last time you guys went to the Final Four? Was it the 03 or 04? Or was that 02? Dwayne Wade team?
Marquette pick is biased, but we have a great backcourt and we play extremely physical. And with a Coach of the Year candidate in Shaka Smart, I see them going far. I love Shaka.
Yeah.
I never did understand why he didn't work out at Texas. That didn't make any sense to me.
You remember why Rich Rod didn't work out at Michigan? Because they wouldn't let him do everything his way.
Probably the same
thing with Shaka Smart. That they wouldn't let him do everything his way. Yeah. You know, he wanted to recruit. From what I read, a couple times he wanted to recruit what wasn't the very best player in the country because it fit what he wanted to do. And apparently that just everybody was up in arms. Why are you recruiting this 3-star player? Because he fits this role.
Yeah.
And he can project how good he's going to be. People don't understand that. Some people.
Yeah. Jeremy says, I could definitely see KSU making a big run. That team is freaking good. Very sound defense. Well coached and has playmakers just like their football team. Agreed. Curtis says, I love the small ball lineups. They're much better switching. I'm starting to lean that way too, Curtis. I really am, man. Put Emmitt at the 5, Tre or Tre, either one at the 5, put the other one at the 4. You have Erik, Keedy, Joe out there with them. Good, that's a good lineup to me. Curtis says,
absolutely.
And then Sorgi says, yeah, Paul 03 with Wade.
Yeah.
Good memory, my man.
Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse.
I hear you. Yeah, I'm not good at that kind of stuff. I knew they made it there to the Final Four with Wade, but I had no idea what year it was. All right. Paul, do you have anything else you want to say before we jump off?
Let's root for a meeting with Pitt or for Pitt to miss out altogether. But I was going to answer this last question really quick about Joe.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead. I was going to too. Go ahead.
The reason Joe only got 10 minutes today, Christopher, was because Keedy just played so well. They play the same position. Yes, they had played at the same time in the past, and maybe that would have been an option for Hugs, but I think he needed Joe to spell Keedy when he needed spelled, and he did towards the end of the game with about 4:30 to go. So um, that's why Keedy just played his ass off and had probably his best game of his career today.
Yeah.
And similar to how Joe has been left in a few times at the end of games, Keedy was today.
And guys, I apologize for the yawning. I've been under the weather the last few days. I don't know, cold, flu, sinus infection. I don't know what I got, but and I've just been really tired. So it's like I can't get enough sleep, and I haven't been and I didn't sleep well last night either. So, but anyway, so I apologize if it's unprofessional that I've been yawning, but couldn't really help it, to be honest.
Well, we appreciate you, man. You do an excellent job over in that chair, and this show wouldn't be the same without you, big dog.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, Jeremy says to like and subscribe.
Yeah,
John Kelly, thanks, man. Oh, and we got to read his comment. Eat shit, Pitt. Just saying. We thank everybody for hopping on here. We couldn't do this without your all support. You guys are what makes this go. If Paul and I just had to sit here and talk to a blank screen, man, this would get pretty boring, and we probably wouldn't be able to do it very long. So we appreciate you guys for making it fun and for getting us to where we are. And we're on the road to 1,000 for this channel, and West Virginia making it to March Madness is not going to hurt our chances. But we got a long way to go to get still. We're not even to 500 yet. So if y'all don't mind, be sure to tell any of your college hoops friends about us, West Virginia fans about us. Try to get us to that 1,000 subscriber number so we can start making a little bit of money. I mean, this doesn't pay a lot, but YouTube, but you know what? If we can make a little bit on it, it'd be even better. And maybe we can make even better content for you guys going forward as we're able to put more money back into the show. So. And by the way, guys, we have merch now, by the way. See if I can throw it up on the screen.
And while he's looking for that real quick, guys, another thing is we're at the point in the year now where every win is probably going to be us going live afterwards. It's just going to be that big of a deal if we win from here on out. Yep. So you can look forward to that. And we can all start to get to know each other better and maybe even bring other people on. Yeah. Yeah, maybe even losses.
And we're also planning to do another show with Ryan and Rush, like which we did before.
Maybe a pre-tournament show or something.
I don't know if it'll be on their platform or ours, but be on the lookout for that. And there's our new shirt we have to offer. It's in my Couz's Corner merch store. If you guys want to check it out, it's in any of my Couz's Corner videos. Go in the description box, click the link, and this shirt is in that store. If you want to support our show that way. And also, Paul, I was thinking, I'm kind of doing this on the fly, but depending on our schedules, it would be cool to go live as they're doing the March Madness brackets as they're rolling out.
I think that's a great idea. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Hopefully, depending on if our schedules work out, we'll be able to do that. Sundays are tricky for me sometimes because I'm usually with the family, so I can't promise it, but hopefully we can.
Well, if so, maybe even I can do one. But
yeah,
Game Chalk Chuck, why so much hate for Pitt? Man, look, they've been giving us the business here the last couple of weeks because we only had 16 wins just a couple games ago. We started to come on late here. Obviously, this isn't the only reason, but right now, especially, is because they've been telling us we wasn't going to make the tournament. Good luck in the NIT, all this other stuff we've been hearing over the last couple of weeks, and it really feels so good. So we just, give them the business right back. We might catch them in wins. If we win a game in the tournament and they lose in the tournament, we catch them in wins this year. That was unthinkable to them just a couple games ago.
Yep.
So crazy.
ESPN Tournament Bracket League. Not a bad idea. May do something like that. Who knows?
Oh, shoot. Dinner's ready for me, bud.
All right. Well, guys, we have been great segue because I was going to say we've been at it right at an hour.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate you guys once again for hopping on here with us, celebrating Mountaineers' big win today. They're going dancing, so get on your dancing shoes, get on your coonskin caps, and let's go Mountaineers. We're out.